Did you know that whenever my girlfriend gets upset, I let her colour in my black and white tattoos?
You don't have any tattoos.
I don't, but I should, because then she would really have a shoulder to cry on.
Hey!
Well, Cat does love drawing.
There we go. See?
Hello and welcome to episode 15 of That's Class, a podcast about things we find class, hosted by three of your favourite classholes. As always, I'm Ruaridh Kidd, joined by the Hasbro lover himself, Duncan Malcolm.
Hello.
And Leeds #1 fan, Eddie Ashcroft.
Also, undisputed head-to-head fantasy football champion, Eddie
You
Ashcroft.
forgot
Oh, so
that
sorry. I'll manage to put that into the next intro.
It came good.
Leeds
It
United.
came good, everyone. We made it. We did it.
We did it. Last episode was ended on a cliffhanger. We didn't know whether or not Eddie would be the champion, but he is now officially
The champion. We all just decided, though, at the end of the last one, now who's winning regardless.
We did, yeah. Doesn't matter what happened. You could
Now
be the
we've just
loser.
legitimized it. We've legitimized it now.
We could be lying right now, but the listeners
This
will
is
never
true.
know.
They will know. What year of shirt?
Tee.
What year of shirt is it this year, Eddie?
Oh yeah.
Don't ask me.
Don't ask.
I
You
don't
don't know.
No, I can't remember.
Don't know which league.
It's the really terrible years that no one likes to remember or think about. As I point at the Macron badge on the front of the shirt, that should be enough to tell you how terrible we were back then. Wearing Macron kits branded by Enterprise Insurances.
Oh,
all
it would've
the
been
all the
better.
Scottish rugby kits are done by Macron.
Oh,
Maybe that's why
that
we're so
to tell
shit.
you,
This
innit?
explains a lot.
But no,
Done by
I
Macron.
quite like this one because it's like a dark blue with like very white pinstripes, but the pinstripes are quite spaced out horizontally, but they're quite spaced out. What I also like is it's got a collar. I quite like a football shirt with a collar on it. Not enough
Yeah.
have that these days,
Yeah.
so I do like this one. But
Nice.
just
Nice.
apart from
How,
the Macron badge.
how are you, Rory? How are you? How does it feel to be 30 years young?
Feels fine. Feels great.
Feels
my
fine. How's your
my,
week?
my bones ache more. My back hurts. I need a stiff mattress now.
Vitamin supplements in the morning.
Yeah. This week's been a bit hectic because we drove down back from Scotland, which was a solid 10-hour drive, and moved straight into this new house. For any of you audio listeners, I have a new background. But we drove down and we didn't have any time to unpack because we got down at like 5 and then basically ordered a takeaway and slept. And then I've been working full time at the surf school ever since. And this is the only morning I've had off. So this is why we're recording the pod now, between surf school lessons.
Oh, nice.
How are you, Duncan?
I'm very well. Very well. Super, just manic week at work, but it's all good. It's the weekend. That's the main thing. Baby, we made it.
We made it.
We
We
made
made
it.
it to the
We made it.
weekend.
I've been up to much. Watched that Raya and the Last Dragon last night. That was fun.
Oh, yeah. Is it on Disney
That's-
Plus now for like streaming?
Yeah, it's for free now. You don't have to pay for it.
And I will dive right in.
It's pretty good. Yeah. Now it's free. It's a great film. Good fun. Classic.
Yeah, you recommend
Disney
it?
fare. Yeah, I'd recommend it. I give it a class rating. It's pretty fun.
Class
It's different.
rating.
Different. It's quite interesting watching it because it's the first one they've ever made when every single person involved was working at home. So the
Oh,
whole
that's
film
cool.
was done kind of remotely. So that's kind of a cool pub quiz fact, and something that's kind of fun going when you go in to watch it. You realise how seamless it all was put together.
Very cool. That's very,
That's cool.
very cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
good.
when everything's done on a computer anyway, surely you could just have done it at home. But another
That's
thing
true.
that you can do at home is listen to our podcast.
Oh.
Just search your favorite podcast service for That's Class, and we will be there waiting for you to download. We upload a new episode usually every single Monday morning. Last week, a little bit different because I was...
That's it. Cover it now. That's it. Yeah, get that out the way before we have a chance to talk about that.
Yep, I was
Punish him.
still...
Punish him.
Unforgivable.
I was still in Scotland, so I only managed to upload the episode on a Wednesday, which is usually when YouTube is uploaded. But this week's YouTube will be uploaded probably today at some point.
Think of
Bitch,
the
that's a
fans, Rory.
mistake.
Think of the fans.
This episode will be out on Monday morning, just in time for your commute to work. If you prefer to
Well,
watch a podcast and put faces to the voices and instantly regret making that decision, you can also find us on YouTube the following Wednesday. Just search for That's Class Pod, and we will probably turn up on your feed somewhere with an episode. Eddie has also put down that it is the 2014-2015 away Leeds United strip, which was a bad season for you guys.
Not a vintage year.
Not
Shall we get right into it? I've
Yeah,
got
let's get going.
top news.
Let's do it.
Michael Keaton's Batman suit was teased for the new Flash movie. Two things I've got from this. I do not care about the Flash movie because I'm not a fan of Idris Elba. Is it not Idris Elba? What's his name?
Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller's Flash. And
Massively different people.
but what I am excited for is it's Michael Keaton's Batman suit, and Michael Keaton is the best Batman, in my opinion. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
I don't know, Batfleck.
We've got
Mystery
people in my
guest.
background.
Yes.
Two
Lots of
mystery
guests.
podcast guests.
Two
You
mystery
didn't tell us
guests
we had guests.
in the pajamas. They'll be going. There we go. Very good.
Oh, dancing. Dancing guests. Oh,
Oh, visual listeners, that was fun. Audio listeners, I'm sorry.
audio listeners have no idea what just happened. But that's okay.
But yeah, the director uploaded a Instagram post, which was
say
just
his name,
the.
Rory. Say his name.
His name is Andy Muschietti. Muschietti. Muschietti.
Come on,
Muschietti.
Muschietti. See, it
Muschietti.
instantly helped.
Yes, it did.
Instantly helped. Muschietti.
He teased an Instagram post with Michael Keaton's Batman logo on his suit with a little bit of a blood stain on it. Which, to be fair, does that mean Michael Keaton's Batman likes to kill? Does that mean he's dying? I don't know. Either way, I'm pretty hyped, and I'm keen to see Michael Keaton as Batman again.
Or is it Watchmen? Yeah. Is it secretly Doomsday Clock?
It does relate more. It does, it's the same as that little happy face badge, isn't it?
Yeah.
The little
Yeah.
blood stain
I
on
do wonder if he is playing because the comedian was sort of an older superhero in the Watchmen, and if this film is Flashpoint, which everyone seems to think it is, the Flashpoint secret series has the Flash go into like an alternate future where Batman's just gone off the deep end and basically runs around with handguns and just like shoots people like John Wick, in a back suit.
John Wick.
So that would explain where the sort of comedian thing's coming into it.
I was reading as well. There's another alternate, and I can't remember the name of the comic book series that it's also from. Is where there is a reality where Bruce gets killed and his dad
his dad becomes Batman.
Becomes like a really dark Batman.
I think
So
I
wonder if that's what. I wonder if that's what Michael Keaton's. Maybe he's not actually going to be Bruce Wayne. Maybe he's going to be
Thomas Wayne.
That's the one where he runs
Thomas
around with the
Wayne.
guns. Because in the Flashpoint film, he's fighting this character that you think is the Joker. And it's not the Joker, it's some other character.
It's Jared
And in this
Leto.
Cartoon, it's called someone like Yo-Yo or something. And basically he just pulls out two handguns and just starts just blasting. And then I started blasting. You're like, Jesus. This is dark.
I don't see
He's got
so
red
good, so I
eyes.
didn't know if I hit him.
That's basically old Batman.
He was running away from me, so I just started blasting, but I don't see so good.
Quick, get to the bat stand stairlift.
Then I think also is that I think the idea behind the Flash movie is that we're getting the Flash going to different realities and being mentored by different Batmen.
Yeah,
that's Flashpoint, and
Batfleck's
Flashpoint also
back.
has.
Come on.
Flashpoint also has the Amazons and Atlantis are at war in Flashpoint, so they're consistently so they're fighting each other. So that'd be interesting. That'd be fun
because they
to watch.
had beef in Justice League, did they not? But they were like, we have to work together.
Yeah, they're not fans of each other.
No, but we don't really know why, unless you've read the comic books.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm keen for the Flashpoint movie. It seems like they're doing a classic DC thing and trying to shoehorn in the multiverse.
we must get ahead of Marvel.
Yeah, exactly. Marvel are like
they've
slowly
done it.
going into
No.
it. They're
Do you
going
know
into
that,
the multiverse, and then DC are like, "Oh, we'll do it first."
You know that clip?
They'll do a
and I
really
can't remember
shit
what
job.
film it's from. It is the clip that's famously dubbed over, and it's the Hitler clip where he's explaining the stuff in the
Oh,
bunker.
yeah.
That's I imagine them, but it's DC.
Hitler, Marvel have done the multiverse. What? Everybody leave the room.
But speaking
Except
of
for
Marvel,
you
wanted to talk about Thor.
Yes, speaking of Marvel, Thor: Love and Thunder has wrapped on filming, which is
That'd be
very
fun.
exciting news. Chris Hemsworth posted on his Instagram a picture of him and Taika Waititi, and Chris is wearing a tank top and his arms look incredible.
Huge.
If I was gay
Suspiciously
for a man's
sus.
arms, I am gay for Chris Hemsworth's arms.
What's the director called again? How'd you say his
Director is
name?
Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi. Right, yeah.
Did
Did you know that he's got? Supposedly
Zoom.
he's going out with Rita Ora.
He
It's
is.
just telling me that.
Good job, Taika. He's like
You see
50.
Do you see the picture
he?
of him and Tessa Thompson and Rita Ora all having a wee kiss on
No.
on the Daily Mail? Caught him in
On the Daily Mail, that's such a classic Daily Mail.
Sure it
Oh,
was Daily
famous
Mail
people
showbiz.
kissing.
But it was it's the fact it was the three of them.
Show us some real news.
But yeah, the
Well, he is ancient.
Yeah, he's in his 40s. I think he's in his 40s.
Yeah,
my
no, he's
best
not
big
that old.
pal of
50
rocks. That's old like stone. It's a pile
I
of
always
rocks.
thought she might end up going out with Lewis Hamilton.
Nice.
Soon.
But,
she'll get round. She'll get round to him.
He's 45. You giving it his 50? He's 45.
It's 5 years off. Pretty close. But yeah, it looks like they're keeping with the whole 80s aesthetic of Ragnarok, except I think they're going a lot more like in on the 80s look. Chris Hemsworth has his long hair again. Taika Waititi looks like he's playing a different character as well, because he famously played Korg, he's the rock monster. He talks like this, and he's made of perishable rocks.
Unless there's lots of paper around. Just
Yeah,
rock, paper,
it's a
scissors.
rock, paper, scissors, Jack. But it looks good. I don't actually know when it's out. Obviously they've just wrapped.
2020.
Be next year.
2022.
Yeah, I think
According to the
Marvel said it
trailer.
was 2022.
Yeah.
But I
May,
think
I think.
what we all want to know is there's one thing on everyone's mind. Where is Padme? Is she safe? Is she all right?
She is in it and she is jacked.
Oh yeah,
She's been working out.
Natalie Portman's back in it, and she kind of plays
Yeah.
Thor female version.
Is this a multiverse Thor? Is there going to be like 3 Thors? Or is everyone pretending to be Thor now?
I don't know. I don't really know the context, because apparently Natalie Portman said she didn't want to be part of Marvel because they didn't use female directors or something like that. Or it was like the second movie
Now
was
she's
meant
like-
to be a female director, and then they fired her and got another guy in. And she was like, "I'll never work for them again." Yeah, and then those dollar bills, y'all.
Yeah. Also, what has
Singing
Natalie
dollar,
Portman done for the
dollar,
past few
dollar,
years?
dollar.
Say that again, Duncan.
Where's Natalie Portman been for since she didn't appear in Endgame? I don't know where what
This
she's
is
up to.
true. This
She's
is
not
true.
done. She's had like kids.
Maybe
and stuff, so
she's had
probably
family.
taken-
Yeah.
She
I
probably
think she's
went back.
taking time
She
out.
probably went back to uni and is now like a scientist because she's like the smartest woman in the world.
She's also, like I said, she also got in serious shape for this role. Whatever it is she's doing.
Yeah.
Like, she's
Well,
determined
I've not seen a
to look
photo of her
huge.
actually, but if you're up against Chris Hemsworth, then you got with his arms nowadays, you've got to be in pretty decent shape.
You're just desperate for them to have their own character, like in the credits.
Yeah. Yeah. Chris Hemsworth's
Chris
arms, played
Hemsworth.
by
Chris
Chris Hemsworth. Speaking of weird appendages,
Oh, this is just segues today are just flowing.
Yeah.
oh,
Oh,
who wrote this down on the chat? Was it you, Dunk?
it was
Well,
me.
Sweet Tooth was not me.
Eddie,
was me.
Eddie, kick us off with Sweet Tooth. What is this about?
So it's a Netflix show. It's on now. I fully intend to watch it. So maybe I'll give a wee like Eddie's thoughts on the show. But it's basically something's happened on Earth. A whole load of kids, everyone's been infected with something, and it's meant that the next generation, a big portion, I think, of the next, not all of the next generation, but a big portion of the next generation kids have actually become animal-human hybrids. So there's like
Class.
they've got like wings growing, beaks growing. Some of them are born with just like snouts. But I think the main character is a wee deer boy hybrid called Gus, and he's trying to seek refuge somewhere else in America. Obviously, it's set in America. Somewhere else in America, but it's very dangerous for him to travel alone. So he's helped by this big, huge, buff guy called Jeopard, who it looks like they've formed like the whole film will probably be about like their relationship developing and maybe him getting a bit softer and a bit nicer because he's like big bad motherfucker at the start, but I bet he gets like really nice and then Gus like looks after himself. But no, it does look quite cool. I was sort of thinking, it looks like something I've not seen before, but at the same time I also feel like I have seen it, and I have written down wee dear boy called Gus. Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, anyone? Because it just made me think of what's the game? Mr. Tumnus. That's
Mr.
it. It just came to me.
Played by Scotland's own James McAvoy.
But apart from the fact he's just got antlers, I don't think he's got like the wee feet. He might have the wee feet. But then I also saw that you wrote down your plot summary. Which,
I wrote down the. Did I write down the plot summary?
Or did
I
Duncan
did.
write
Yeah.
down the plot summary? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't write that.
For those of you that are sort of our age and grew up with teenage angst and pop punk music, Fall Out Boy had a song called, I can't remember what it was called, but it was like Sugar We're Going Down, that song basically. And the video was about a boy with antlers and feet of a deer, and he is not accepted in the world and then finds a girl and life's good again.
Wow.
The boy basically looks like the boy from Fall Out Boy. And all the old men want to shoot him because he looks like a deer, which basically that's what I got from this movie.
Yeah. I really laughed when I saw that. I was like, oh yeah. It's been brought to us by Team Downey.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. and his wife
Susan Downey.
So yeah.
I was surprised at that actually.
Well, it's the DC thing.
Oh, Robert. Well, he's not contracted anymore. He can do what he wants.
But no, but that was raised to them apparently, and then they were like, "Oh well, when we got into this, DC hadn't bought the comic book company, so you're reading into absolutely nothing."
Yeah, fair enough.
Which was quite funny to read how quickly people like to jump on that, like we did. Fully jumped on it. It's disgusting. You can't do that.
Yeah, I know.
Turncoat, sellout bastard.
All for those dollar bills.
But no, yeah, that looks quite interesting, and no, I'm surprised you've not seen it on the homepage of Netflix yet.
Yeah, well, how did you find it?
I found it occasionally during the week at lunchtime. I like to hit YouTube trending and just scroll for new trailers. That was there, and then I've seen it on Netflix. It's like front page of Netflix.
Imagine your child imagine just waking up and really having like random animal parts.
Well,
like, surely
do you know
wings is a win. Wings are
well. I was just gonna say, like, you wait for it to grow up, you never have to drive anywhere in your life. Just like, use a lift, please.
It's not so much, Duncan, that you wake up and you've got wings. It's these kids are born with wings.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But as the children,
imagine,
right? Yeah. So I'm saying. Imagine how shit you must feel if you wake up and you just got like
the pig snout.
That's a pig snout, and a little tail.
Would be okay because the pig snout you could transferable skills because pig snouts are probably really good for like foraging and stuff. So you'd probably be really good at finding food or really good at cooking. I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to. But yes, it would be shit when you went to see your best pal and he's got this massive set of eagle wings.
Stop justifying these freaks.
Imagine, or at least with the deer, you'd be able to like run fast. Maybe, hopefully,
if he has the little feet. If he doesn't have the little feet, then he might just have big antlers.
He got a shit end of the deal if he didn't get the little feet as well.
You could just file them down. You'd be all right.
But they're basically just like glorified toenails, aren't they? Hoofs.
Yeah,
it's just a glorified toenail. So, yeah.
That's it. Time to nail your shoes on for the day.
Shall we move on?
Moving on. Singapore Grand Prix cancelled.
Yeah, what a shame. It's normally a good race. Is it? Yeah. No, it's normally quite good.
It's fun. It's different.
Yeah. Because it's nighttime, I suppose. They're racing through the city. They're going under the bridge and everything.
With the actual traffic going across. This is always a good
Yeah,
shot.
no, yeah, because they pan out, don't they? And
Yeah.
all the traffic's going, yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so that's cancelled. We're looking like we might get either China or Turkey. I think they might try because they were trying to shoehorn China back in at some point this season.
Have they got an Asian race this year? Because
Yeah,
do you not need an
Japan's
Asian
still
race?
on. Japan's still on.
Japan's still
for
on
now.
Oh, okay.
Japan are waiting. Japan are waiting for the They're waiting for the Olympics to see how they cope with the Olympics.
That's fair.
Before
they're
they
hosting
confirm.
that this summer.
So that's going to rest a lot on that. But I mean, Turkey were a way to take over from Canada like 2 weeks ago, and then Turkey had to cancel because they were on the UK's red list.
Yeah.
But I mean, as a stopgap, I suppose the Circuit of the Americas, so the Texas Grand Prix, the American Grand Prix, have offered to host 2 rounds back to back. So that could be cool. I could see them going for that because the American owners, they'd want a couple races in America, would be good for business.
When you say hosting 2 rounds back to back, does that mean it'll be the same racetrack?
2 weekends in a row, yeah.
It
so
depends.
that'll be happening already this season in Austria. They'll have the Styrian Grand Prix and then the Austrian Grand Prix, but they're both happening at the same track.
But it depends because Bahrain hosted 2 last year, and it depends on your track. So Bahrain has the ability to have 2 circuits, so they can make 2 different circuits, and they had 2 different track layouts. Whereas Austria, like Eddie says, is the same race.
Same race, 2 weekends.
In a row.
Did they not have pea and rain? They had actually it was really good because you thought, oh, this is going to be boring, but the conditions were different each weekend, so it was actually quite interesting.
We watched the first one, and it was sunny.
Yeah,
and then the second one was weekend was slightly different weather. But it's cool. If you like, hopefully Circuit of the Americas can do something different each week.
Yeah, I don't think they've got an alternate layout. I could be wrong, but I don't think they do. But,
how's the F1 doing right now? What's the ranking looking like?
Max is in the lead. Max Verstappen is leading the world's drivers as well. Red Bull in front, and the constructors, they must be.
Yeah,
must be in front of the constructors.
It's the first time Max Verstappen's ever led the drivers' championship standings, so obviously everyone now thinks he's won it for the season.
Good for you.
But he won't.
Dutch.
He won't. I can't see it happening.
There's only 2 things I hate in this world: people who are intolerant to other people's cultures, and the Dutch.
I hate the Dutch. I can get behind that. So arrogant. Anyway,
that's that.
There's no need for it.
What there is a need for, or possibly not a need for, is the fact that they're making a Highlander reboot featuring Henry Cavill.
Oh, yeah.
There is no need for a Highlander reboot, but we'll watch it anyway.
Will he put on a Scottish accent?
Well, it can't be any worse than Christophe Lambert's Scottish accent.
Yeah,
so
that's very true.
Because we watched it the other night.
Can only be one.
This, we went to watch the original, and it's funny when they're in when they were filming in Scotland. It's a very well shot film, and they're filming in Scotland. It's Sean Connery's explaining, sort of the world of Highlander to Christophe Lambert. And it's funny because obviously Christophe Lambert is French playing a Scotsman, and then Sean Connery's a Scotsman playing an Egyptian who lived in Spain.
It's such a great thing.
My name is Juan Carlos Ramirez.
Yes, I lived in Spain.
I was lying in bed and some books fell on my head. I only have myself to blame.
Is this sheet taken? I need to shit down. Take a shit.
Yes, he's definitely got far cry from a Spanish accent.
Oh my god. Duncan, and coming in hot with a segue.
We should just give a running total of segues.
This technically should be in trailer time, but because it's a video game.
Yeah, we'll gloss over it briefly. There's not a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Go for it.
Also, we should probably be more professional and stop flagging up a segue every time it happens.
No,
I know. Yeah.
No. Popping up segues is funny. I think we should keep a running total if he does a good one.
Yeah, there's no point making a segue if you don't reference how good it was.
Yeah.
The end of every episode could have a "Did you spot this segue section?"
No,
so the actual podcast sounds professional, and then at the end we're like, "Hey, we did it!"
The side of the papers when you get like last week's crossword puzzle.
Yeah,
last week. How many segues did you find?
That would be very good.
Far
Cry 6 looks fun.
I've seen this trailer.
It's got the Juan Carlo Esposito. Is that the gentleman from Mandalorian and Breaking Bad? Is the villain?
You mean Gus from Los Pollos Hermanos?
Yes, that's the one. He plays a ruthless dictator in a very sort of Cuban-inspired island, I will say.
Cool.
Well, I can't remember what the island's called, but it's definitely from that. Definitely modelled on that part of sort of.
I'm gonna guess
world.
that it's called Los Pollos Island.
Los Pollos Island.
Los Pollos Hermanos.
Yes, he plays a good bad guy, to be fair, and to play a dictator, because he was in the Mandalorian at the end. He was the guy with the black lightsaber.
He is the one with the dark saber. Yes.
Yeah.
Yara, Caribbean island of Yara,
Class.
Which is inspired by Cuba.
I've always been a fan of the Far Cry games. I think my brother introduced me to it when we lived in Glasgow, and I think he gave me Far Cry 3, which was like the big one that everyone loved.
Yeah, that was a fun game.
He gave me Far Cry 3, and I just was all in, and then I played 4, 5, but wasn't that into it. Far Cry 3 the story was good.
My favorite one's Far Cry 3, but it's an the sort of spin-off called Blood Dragon, which is set in the futurist, like a 90s future. So it's like what the future looked like when you were in the 90s. And it's like you play as a cyber commando called Rex Power Colt.
Great name.
And all the achievements are 80s quotes from films. So when you complete the tutorial, an achievement comes up and it says, "Welcome to the party, pal."
Nice.
And like the handguns from RoboCop, you've got a cybernetic arm. You can run around with a cyber samurai sword. And he's voiced by Michael Biehn, who is Kyle Reese in Terminator.
Oh my god, Kyle Reese.
I'll send you the trailer. It's just bizarre. And the opening scene is you're in a helicopter with a minigun and Long Tall Sally from Predator is playing as you completely rinse this fortress with a minigun.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's just epic in so many levels.
Sounds like a good game, actually. I mean, Far Cry, they always kind of make some pretty good games. Eddie, have you never played them?
I played one. I think I played Far Cry 3. I never really played too much of it.
Yeah.
I don't know why, to be honest, but no. Probably busy playing Formula 1 or something.
Formula 1, I think. Speaking of the future, Concorde 2?
Concorde 2. Yeah.
Concorde 2.
Have you seen this?
Sounds class. I have not seen this, so tell us all about it.
Yes. So there is a company in Denver called Boom who are creating a new supersonic a supersonic passenger jet called Overture, which kind of sounds pretty cool.
That's cool name. Sounds like an apprentice team.
So it is. Sorry, I've just had to move stuff screen, so I'm looking at the screen as I'm saying this.
That's right.
It's a supersonic jet. The US airline United have announced plans to buy 50 new supersonic jet airliners, and they want to be using them by the year 2029, which isn't that far away to be getting Concorde 2, yeah. So where a typical plane cruises at about 560 miles per hour, the Overture is due to reach speeds of 1,122 miles an hour. So what's that? That's not far off double. That is double the speed.
That's double the speed, yeah.
But this is also known as Mach 1.7, which isn't as fast as Concorde. Concorde went 1,350 miles an hour, which is Mach 2.04.
Ain't nobody beating Concorde.
But it's so fast. So the idea is they want to cut in half the trip from London to New York. So they should be able to make the trip in 3.5 hours, saving 3 hours.
Bloody hell! So,
being a United airline purchase, it's only going to be like American flights? I take it, because I'm pretty sure does United go out of the States?
Yeah, well, they fly across. Yeah. They fly across to London.
Do they fly to London?
And then you get the London flight back.
Yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me if it also ended up, because a lot of these airlines, they just go round. So like they'll stop in London on their way to New York. They'll fly from New York to like Los Angeles, and then they'll fly from Los Angeles to like Australia, and then Australia to Dubai, and then Dubai to London. Like the plane pretty much just goes around the world, kind of.
But also, Go on.
Imagine if you can fly from London to Australia in less than 12 hours.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think you would still have to stop because of fuel. But this is one of the things that they're saying.
Yeah, because it must burn it so quickly.
One of the big stopping points at the moment is they don't actually have the fuel technology for it. So that like it's not designed. It's not. I imagine it's fairly well designed, but I don't know if they've ever built anything yet.
No, they haven't built anything.
They've still got 8 years, which is a long time in this sort of process, really, but also not a massively long time, but still a long time.
Well, Elon's gone to the space in 10, so
the idea is that it's going to be net carbon zero. So they're going to have to. So the intention is to run it off of biofuels, but these biofuels don't properly. They obviously exist, but they don't properly exist in the quantities required for aviation. But I think this biofuel is supposed to be the future of aviation fuel anyway.
I have a question. How much does a lithium battery weigh? Like, do we have electric airplanes yet?
No, because
No.
battery technology's problem is that it
doesn't last
batteries they don't last long, and exponentially they scale up. Well, they scale up in terms of size, but they also come back down nowadays. So nowadays they're getting better. But
Orkney and the Shetlands have an electric plane.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah.
Really?
You know how they've got like little diddy crossings between islands?
Yeah.
I am 99% sure this isn't another Eddie bullshit moment. But
I will look this up.
There is an electric crossing. I'm sure of it. It's either happened as a test or it happens regularly. But
we're talking about like in service, not so much.
No, I'm nearly certain it is in service. It's just that I only read about it when they did like a test.
I've got it here. April 22nd on BBC News. Set for a hybrid electric plane. So it's a US-based electric eel aircraft, and it's been given a tartan wingtip to be used to test flights between Orkney and Shetland.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
But not in the mass scale that we're thinking, like Concorde and that sort of thing.
There kind of has been.
I've got extra for this though. The plane is only able to fly 35 miles.
But that's all it needs to fly. Like there's literally flights that only need to go like 4 miles up there. It's bonkers.
Yeah,
that's where commercial electric flights will come in. Is little journeys in like remote places where they just need to like bop around places.
That was good. That tickled
It'd be cool if they could use it more where there's a lot of places that use like helicopters and stuff like that. For longer flights. So I'd be also good to use for shorter flights. Definitely I'm going to say Australia, but actually Australia's bloody huge, so it doesn't really work for them.
I think the country's massive.
The problem is battery power and scale, because you've got the amount of the scaling in size for the power that you need from a battery is the problem. I'm sure that's what Elon said. That's the problem.
As good as electric sounds, like there's nothing nice to the environment about batteries.
Yeah,
like, they would basically replace like oil with other finite natural resources.
Yeah, lithium. Australia, there's giant holes in the middle of Australia.
That, yeah. So I mean, I this is where I think maybe not enough. Too much has been put on electric, and not enough is now being put on. Because electric's good because we can get clean electricity eventually.
Yeah.
I suppose the idea for the world is that clean electricity will be the thing, which is great for homes because homes can be powered by 100% powered by electricity. Gas central heating will piss off. Oil central heating will piss off eventually because you can run.
It's just solar panels, right? If every house has a solar
panel. Gas already is. Gas already outlawed.
Solar panels won't heat a home. What you need is a heat pump. So you'll either have ground source heat pumps or air source heat pumps. So every new house in Scotland now is generally run off a heat pump.
Really?
Typically an air source heat pump, which kind of like works like a fridge but backwards, is how it kind of works. Because ground source is like 75%. It costs 75%. No, it costs 15 grand more. So you're about 7 to 8 to 10 grand. So you're about 7 to 10 grand for an new air source heat pump installed. But then you're like 25 to 30 grand for ground source heat pumps. But
is the reason you know this because you're an architect and this is what you need to know to design new houses and things?
Because I work in
architecture.
I hope you bring this sort of energy and enthusiasm to trailer time,
Wait,
Eddie.
do you hear that, Eddie?
Did you not hear
What?
that?
Oh wow.
Yeah, you were so into the building of houses.
Backing on up for another issue of Trailer Time. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum. Dun, 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 dun. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, ba-dum. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Trailer Time.
Nice.
I feel
Welcome
like
to
it's an air
Trailer
horn at
Time.
the end. Wow, wow, wow.
Welcome to
Wow,
Trailer
wow,
Time,
wow.
a podcast within a podcast, where we talk about trailers.
It's, I feel like we should have ended that housing segment with that, and that is all with facts from Eddie. Eddie facts.
Those weren't bullshit.
That were bullshit.
Although we're talking about how much we want to be professional and skipping segues and things, we're still not professional about changing segments. It's quite good. I quite like how much of a garbage
need
truck
to
on
be so
fire this
professional.
podcast is.
We definitely don't need any professional music for Trailer Time.
Mm-mm.
No.
It's
Although
gonna-
I
it'll
did
be-
pitch it. I pitched it to Stuart on Monday, and he was like, "That's so good. I could put something to that would just emphasize it a little bit."
It's
But
just
we'll
the
see.
fact that like the actual Weeds song changes every time.
Mm.
'Cause
Kicking
no one
off
can
trailer
remember what
time,
they
though.
sung.
Kicking off trailer time with reminiscence. Did you guys watch the trailer for this?
I did.
Yeah.
I have a few things to say about Reminiscence.
Reminiscence,
I didn't think
for
it
the
was that
listeners, is a new movie with Hugh Jackman and Rebecca Ferguson, best known for The Greatest Showman and that lady who sings well and he cheated on his wife. They're in a movie
Wait,
together
Rebecca
again.
Ferguson. Rebecca Ferguson's also in the Mission Impossible. And she is also in the new Dune movie.
Listen, Duncan,
she's-
listen. I only know people from decent movies, and I watch The Greatest Showman, which is
But-
also The Greatest Show.
Mission Impossible Fallout is one of the best action films
Actually,
of
yeah,
all time.
fair enough. And it's also starring, and I'm going to butcher her name completely, Thandaway?
You can call her
You-
Thandy.
Yeah, you can just
Thandy-
call her Thandy.
Thandie Newton, who is from another Mission Impossible movie. She is from Mission Impossible 2, when
She is.
Tom Cruise had luscious locks.
He did have luscious locks in Mission Impossible 2. That's a good film. It's a John Woo film.
It's a good film. She
Why he's got
also
dual
she also
pistols.
played one of the robots. I think she played a hooker in Westworld. Is that right?
I've got to quote Archer there.
Oh, she was in Ugly Betty
in
as well,
Archer,
wasn't she?
in Archer, when she said, and he's like, they're not hookers when they're alive, Roy.
No, she wasn't.
They're courtesans.
They're only hookers when they're dead.
That's what he says in Archer.
Archer. Yeah, that's an Archer quote, everyone. Not what we
Archer
think.
season 12 comes out. We'll get onto that another day.
But yeah,
Yeah,
basic plot
Reminiscence.
that I got from this movie was it's a futuristic drug that Hugh Jackman seems to be addicted to, which is traveling to the past when things were better.
So
what did you get from this movie?
Trash.
So okay,
Assassin's Creed movie.
so it's not so much a drug as it is more like Inception in terms of it looks like it's some sort of like memory, like
Yeah.
electrical charge stimulates your brain or something. It was funny. I was watching it and I watched the trailer. I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, this looks an awful lot like Westworld. Which we'll
Yeah.
get into.
And then it
And
said
then-
directed by.
And then it said written and directed by the person from Westworld. I was like, Lisa Joy. I thought, well, this is beginning to make a lot of sense here. Explains Thandie Newton being
Mhm.
involved because she played a really good character in the first 2 seasons of Westworld. And then you got Hugh Jackman doing his best Batman impression. Where is she?
Very good.
she? Lisa Joy, Rebecca Ferguson, Westworld. And then I just thought it looked, it's weird because the whole living in the past thing looked kind of interesting. And it looks like it looks kind of semi-inspired by the brain dances from Cyberpunk 2077, where you can go into people's pasts and solve murders and solve crime by going back into people, which is kind of like Minority Report-ish as well.
Yeah.
So it looks like they've taken a few ideas. But in Cyberpunk, you can definitely get these things called brain dances, where it makes your brain do things.
I've got a really good quote for this movie. Elements of the past and the future combined to make something not quite as good as either.
That could be a review.
But I think Eddie nailed it. It's the animus. Excuse me, I don't know what's happening to my voice.
It
It's the
is, it's
animus,
kind of-
and you plug yourself in with a headset and then disappear and into the past, and you're Ezio. Or
It's
whatever.
just lacking
Exit.
assassins.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's lacking assassins or cyberpunk, or so it's kind of this miserable world. I like it, so in cyberpunk you could play this mercenary. In Assassin's Creed, you're assassins. So these are all cool things, and then you're just this mopey Hugh Jackman character.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman who loves a woman and just like, I want her back. I miss her. Where's she gone? Why don't she love me anymore?
Why is there a new woman in my life?
I feel so shit. Just pure want her back.
Is that meme?
She turned the waves against me.
She's turned the winds against me.
But
Has she? Aye, she's turned the winds against me.
There's so many snakes.
Oh man.
Rebecca Ferguson.
Feel pure.
DM me, pal. DM me, Hugh.
pal. DM me, you. Right, moving on from Reminiscence then, we have the Tomorrow War, which is made by Amazon Movies, who just have too much money. They just need to throw money at anything. It looks good. Like, it looks...
It looks good,
graphics-wise,
actually.
looks
Chris Pratt's not been in a few since Jurassic World and Marvel, so it's quite nice to see him in something that's different, but he seems to be the action man again. He's not necessarily a funny dude anymore.
Yeah,
you
still
know?
quips. Still quips.
Yeah,
though,
it's
but he
still
looks
quippy, but
better.
like
Still quippy.
ever since he got in really good shape, he's not. You don't really associate him with being in Parks and Rec anymore.
This is true. This is true. It looks okay. It looks good. It looks like Future Man. Did you ever see that on Amazon?
No.
Future Man's about for a guy completes a computer game, and he completes this impossible level. And the impossible level was designed by rebel fighters in the future to find their new leader. And then two people come back from the future and tell them we're fighting a war in the future. We need you to help us and rise up because you're now the future leader.
This sounds like the exact plot of the movie.
This is me quoting Future. This is me talking about Future Man. This is what's so funny. And these two rebels come back, make him fight, and then I don't really think he goes into the future as much, but they definitely come back. So that's what, when I saw this watching the trailer, I thought this looks eerily similar.
This one looks like he's clearly ex-military. He's been drafted into the future war, and I guess he saves the day. Is what I'm going to guess.
It looks like another great Friday night fajita film.
Yeah, we follow this page on Instagram called Weekly Planet Posters, and the poster said Chris Pratt does The Edge of Tomorrow, which is basically what this movie looks like.
What it looks like, yeah.
That's pretty much it.
But it looks good. I actually genuinely think I might go and see it. Or maybe not go and see it. Maybe wait until it's on Amazon, isn't it?
Yeah.
Arr.
So yeah, do the old
Arr.
It's all that. Right. It definitely feels like a Friday night film to kind of zone out to. So
and you've put here on the doc. Amazon have too much money anyway.
So. No, it also was too much money. It's more that that film looks really good for a film that's just going to be on Amazon.
True.
Yeah.
And it looks graphics wise and with the cast it's got, it's just amazing to think that they just used to sell books. If you said 10 years ago, they'd be making
it's
films.
a book selling website, yeah.
Yeah, 10, 15 years ago.
If they wanted more money, they could do what Netflix have done and go and rob a bank.
Point to Eddie.
Spain.
Point to Eddie.
Using by performing some sort of money heist.
That was people who are confused. That was a segue.
Which
we might
have we all watched Money Heist?
I watched I watched up to season 3 and then got bored because I thought season 1 and 2 was great because it was that are they going to get caught? What are they going to do? And then I realized, this whole thing is about how they're going to get out of the heist rather than the heist itself. And it was class. And it's genuinely the first time I've not been bothered about subtitles because it's all in Spanish.
Did you watch it in subtitles? Did you watch this? They were speaking Spanish and you were reading the subtitles?
Yeah, I read the subtitles because I could not get over the crap acting of the dubbing.
All right, okay.
I genuinely did not enjoy the dubbing.
How are you watching it, Duncan?
I honestly cannot remember. I think we started it with the subtitles. But are you saying the dubbing gets better, does it not? After
the dubbing,
season 4?
I found the dubbing get better, but also I got so focused in it that I stopped caring about the dubbing. You know, if you're a bit bored, you start to notice these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but once I was so engrossed in it, I totally stopped noticing it. My boss has a Spanish wife, so he can't believe that I've been watching it dubbed in English. He's like, "You're supposed to listen. You're totally missing out on what the characters, how they speak, and everything." And I was like, "Yeah, but I mean, the job of a good dub person is to act that as well." And I don't feel like I don't feel like I lost any of that because the dubbed over was giving what I was seeing on screen.
Fair enough.
But no, like season 4 was good. Season 4 ended on a mad cliffhanger. I won't spoil it, but super excited now about season 5 coming. I'd recommend picking it back up, Rory, because it gets really, really
Okay, because I don't want to spoil too much for Duncan, but I finished season 2 when people joined that you didn't expect people to join, and I was like, oh no, what are they going to do now? And then I think they started another heist, and then I just wasn't in on it because it was weird because it's this pretty much the same cast. The same cast are still there, but it just feels different, and I'm like, I like the people from the,
No,
but
it does.
I don't know. Maybe I'll jump back in again. I like to think that I learned a little bit of Spanish.
Maybe wait till part 5 comes out and then just hop back in and watch them. Watch it in a Warner.
When is it released?
September the 3rd, 2021.
September 3rd.
Ooh. Ciao Bella, ciao Bella, ciao, ciao, ciao.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that song. That's a good song. Moving on. Eddie has put that he saw, quote, a mad trailer called Old.
Yeah, so it does. Just the other day, one lunchtime.
Yeah.
Looks absolutely weird and mental. Not sure I want to watch it.
It's so messed up. I genuinely didn't know because they didn't tell you much about it until the end of the trailer. And I was like, holy crap, it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Oh, that explains a lot then. That explains why they didn't tell you anything.
This movie's out July 23rd and features a cast of B characters that I know from other movies. I honestly could not tell you their names, but I recognize them from movies.
I recognize the guy as he's in that film where he something happens to the world and no one knows who the Beatles are, and then he just starts singing Beatles songs and gets more famous.
Oh, that's where he's from. That's called.
That's what I recognized him from. But I've not watched the movie.
That's what that's called.
Yeah, I've not watched the Beatles movie, but yeah.
But it looks like this movie is they go to an island and then the kids maybe disappear and then they reappear and they're older.
They're like 10 years older, yeah.
Maybe
But like they don't know that. Like for them, it's as if they disappeared 10 years older and came back. They're just like, and then their parents are freaked out and they're like, why are you freaked out? And then like someone has a baby, someone just like decomposes in front of everyone's eyes, dead bodies wash up. Oh yeah, mental. Then they realize they can't leave the beach. I think it's more of a beach, a cove, as opposed to an island. At the start, they're all told you can't go to the beach, but then they go to the beach anyway, and then they can't leave the beach. Because the minute you try to leave the way you come, you black out and wake up back on the beach.
Oh, and do you wake up older?
Twist, isn't it?
Probably, yeah. I bet every time you try and escape, you black out and come back older. Oh, I bet that's,
classic.
I bet it's a time loop. I bet there's a time loop, and actually the old parents at the start are actually the kids growing to the full age of the adults. Something like that.
Oh my god, the Shyamalan twist.
The Shyamalan. What is the Shyamalan twist?
Let's write this down now, by the way.
Shyamalan twists.
If Duncan's right and the adults are actually the kids, and it's a time loop, we called it. If Duncan's wrong, then Duncan will forever be wrong.
We'll shame him.
Total shame on this podcast.
We'll send you down Princess Street naked.
So talking of relative time loops and where things go on for an infinitely long time.
He's on 3 for the day.
The next trailer, Infinite.
It's me, Mark Wahlberg, and I've been alive all my life, and all your life, and all the lives in the world. It's infinite.
Oh my god.
That is probably my worst Mark Wahlberg impression ever.
Hey, Goat, how you doing? Nice to meet you.
It's funny.
Sounds equally as terrible.
Hey, donkey.
So it's funny
how
because...
you doing? Say hi to your mother for me.
That's it. Say hello to your mother for me.
You watch Infinite trailer, and you start it, and you're like, all right, okay, and then they're like, this is on Paramount Plus, and you're thinking, oh boy.
Can I stop you there, Duncan? Paramount now has its own streaming service. Is this right?
Yes.
Fucking hell.
Yes.
So we have Paramount, Disney, HBO, Netflix, Amazon,
Peacock.
Is that not Paramount?
No, Peacock's
that's NBC. Peacock.
NBC.
Jesus Christ.
But it's because everyone realised that everyone wants us. So it was Netflix, and then Amazon did theirs, and then Disney, and everyone's like, oh, well, we'll just take all our properties back and make people pay for it then. And it's like, okay, so we're going back to TV channels now. We're just going full circle.
Yeah, it's gone back.
Soon we'll be paying a license fee to watch them all.
Are we in a time loop?
We might be.
I swear we've seen this before. Yeah, Mark Wahlberg extending his range of acting to playing an immortal Mark Wahlberg.
Great.
I don't. It looks fun, I guess.
Yeah. Is the gist not he doesn't know it? He doesn't know it, but he is an immortal, and it's kind of like he just gets reincarnated. So every time it's like the consciousness is reincarnated, but the consciousness needs to be awakened by something before he's like, oh yeah, now I remember everything about my past and all the lies I've lived.
Yeah, it seems to be kind of like some sort of memento thing, but
Total
rather than
Recall.
He touched the thing, didn't he?
Yeah.
He touched the thing, and he was like, whoa.
And he was like, oh shit, I remember. And then he got picked up by someone, and then they drove away.
Yeah, Luke's... Chiwetel... now, here's a name I can't pronounce.
Go for it.
Is it Chiwetel Ejiofor? But I could be completely wrong there.
How many countries have you just offended?
I know.
Really, quite a lot.
Yeah, I think you're right. Chiwetel Ejiofor. He's British.
He's a great villain. He plays great villains. He was in Doctor Strange.
He wasn't Doctor Strange. He played the guy that wasn't quite as good a ninja magician.
Ninja magician.
Is that right?
The director has a fantastic name. Antoine Fuqua.
I think maybe it's Fuqua.
Fuqua.
Oh my god.
Fuqua? Fuck you.
Rafi's in it.
Oh no.
Oh great. Of course he's in it. He's in everything.
What's his name? Mantzoukas.
Jason Mantzoukas.
Jason Mantzoukas.
He's in it as Peabody. He's even got a comedy character name. Say hello to the comic relief.
Yeah. He's going to be Mark Wahlberg's side character and be like, guys, I don't even know what is going on. I'm like, great. You're the same character in every single thing.
I just went over here and killed this guy.
Yeah. He'll be Pimento from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
But that's all he plays, because he plays the same character. We heard his voice in DuckTales the other week. He's in Big Mouth. He's in that film with Amy Poehler and Will Ferrell. He's in Invincible. He's in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, and he plays the same guy who's like comic relief, but slightly rebellious and a bit of a sex fiend.
And a bit crazy.
Yeah.
Just in case everyone else thinks that they're having deja vu, we have discussed this before.
Yeah. When we talked about Invincible.
Have I started listening to a previous podcast episode by accident?
It's going to be the same. Every time he's in another movie, every time Jason Mantzoukas rears his head, we'll just go into the same loop of talking about how he's the same character.
Same character every time.
But here's
a bet, though. Here's the bet, though, because we don't know what he's going to be like in Infinite. So are we just saying, we could put this down as well, we think he's going to be playing...
We're assuming he's going to be playing Jason Mantzoukas.
Par for the course.
May Marky Mark never die. I think this looks pretty average, a pretty average Mark Wahlberg movie. He needs to tick over the money, because I don't think his burger company's doing very well.
Has he got a burger company?
The Wahlburgers.
I was going to say, is it called Wahlburger?
It's called Wahlburger. They've got a bunch of restaurants in America. But I think he just needs to keep ticking over some movies, and they've got the Uncharted movie. I think has started filming as well, featuring Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland.
It's wrapped, I believe.
Oh, is it wrapped? Is it?
I'm sure it's wrapped.
Yeah, there was a funny picture actually. It was like spotted on set, Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland, and it genuinely just looks like Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg are standing next to each other. Like they don't look like specific characters in a movie.
Neither of them look like the characters they're pretending to play.
Yeah, which I'm not too bothered about. Like, don't don't just hire a lookalike of the video game character.
No,
Just do
no.
a good job, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
That'd
Mark
be
Wahlberg
interesting.
should have a mustache.
I can't wait to see Mark Wahlberg play Mark Wahlberg playing a character.
Sully. He's meant to be Sully, who's like the guy that he's like the number.
No, he's
he's
supposed to
like
be Mark
Marcus. He's like Marcus from Indiana Jones, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It looks interesting though. Oh, the other
It's a
trailer I never
PlayStation
talked about,
game. You guys
Jungle
probably
Cruise.
never played it.
I have played it. Played
Oh,
Uncharted 1.
sorry, prove me wrong.
That's good. Jungle Cruise as well. That came out. That looks fun.
Oh, The Rock on a tiny boat.
The Rock.
haven't watched that.
No, that's a huge boat, Rory. It's just a
But
huge
yeah,
man.
but it looks small because The Rock's on it.
That's
It's the Rock,
doesn't
the
sink.
Rock on a tugboat, little steamboat or something.
That looks fun.
A
Was he-
tugboat. The Rock on a tugboat. Title of the Rock sex tape.
You can't have sails though, because paper beats rock.
Oh, very good. Shall we end it there, boys?
Yeah, I think so for this week.
Nice one. Let me just find the outro. Fuck.
So let me find a goodbye.
When was the last? Oh, here we go. That'll do it for this week. If you want to contribute to the topics, you can find us on all the socials by searching for That's Class Pod, or you can drop us an email. It's that'sclasspod@gmail.com. Let us know what you find class, and we will probably put it in a future episode. You can also catch our faces on YouTube if you want to listen to this all again, but in visual form and instantly regret seeing our faces. And if you do that, leave us a like, leave us a comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you listen to us on podcasts, review our podcasts, give us a 5-star review is what we accept as a minimum. Share it with your friends. Big thanks to Stuart Hosking for providing us with the intro music. And we will see you next week. Have a super, super day. Say goodbye, Duncan.
Goodbye, Duncan.
And as Eddie says at the end of every episode of That's Class,
So long, and thanks for all the fish.